Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn Noble. I am a life and career coach for attorneys. Today, I want to be talking about one of the most common questions I get from most of my clients, and that is simply, how can I be happier in my life? With that in mind, you are in the right spot if you've ever wondered, why do I have all of these things, but I'm not happier? Or how can I find more happiness and purpose in my life? In order to get to the bottom of this and figure out how we can start being happier day in and day out, we have to stop doing certain things. The problem is that many of us are looking for something outside of ourselves to make us happier. If I get a better job, if I find a spouse or a partner, or if I have kids, or if I get promoted, right? We all have something that we sort of set our sights on. And even though we rarely say to ourselves, once that happens, I'm going to be happy, that expectation is typically implicit in the goal that we've set. It's actually driving us in the background, whether we recognize that or not. So a lot of us will say, once I lose 10 pounds, life is going to be so much easier. I'm going to be so much happier day to day. Or once I find a life partner, I'm going to be so much happier. I'm going to feel so much more secure. Once I get that job, once I make more money, life is going to be easier. For some of us, we lose those 10 pounds. We find that job, we get the promotion, we find the partner. And for a minute, we feel like, okay, like this is really it. I'm finally happy. I finally got that thing. And then it wears off. Why does that keep happening? The reason that that keeps happening is because this pursuit of something outside of ourselves to give us that happy, it just doesn't make sense. It's not possible for that partner or that job to instill feelings of happiness or success into us. That is because we create those feelings up here in our heads with how we're thinking about ourselves and how we're thinking about this life that we live. So when we have a goal, for instance, maybe it's I'm going to lose 10 pounds. We work hard, we lose the 10 pounds. For a minute, when we hit that goal, and maybe this isn't true for all of us. I certainly know some clients that hit the goal and this doesn't happen. But in an ideal world, we hit that goal and we think, I'm so happy. I love my body. I look good. I feel confident. Life is amazing. That thought, those beliefs, they might create momentary feelings of happiness. They might give you some pleasure. You might feel differently than you did 10 pounds ago. The problem is that we are not very good at believing any of that crap. So when we hit the goal and we start believing like, gosh, I look good, I feel good, I'm really happy with my body, those are not thoughts or beliefs that we're really good at thinking and believing about ourselves. It's like if suddenly I woke up and I was like, I'm going to write with my left hand instead of my right hand, and I'm going to start driving on the opposite side of the road. It's going to take some time for you to start getting used to those new habits. The same thing happens in our brain. We do not have a habit of being thankful and grateful and appreciative of our bodies at any weight. And so when you get to that certain weight, you're not used to thinking, I like my body, I feel good, I look good. It's a foreign concept to you. There is no habit that believes that. There's no pattern of you believing that. And so when we hit that goal and we believe it just for a second, it doesn't stick because we're a lot better at thinking, my body is gross. I don't like the way I look. Nothing feels right. I just don't feel very comfortable. I don't like the way I feel when I'm out in the open and people can look at me. Whatever that may be, those are the thoughts that you've thought for years, that you've carried with you for years, that you've believed for years. Once you hit that external metric, those habits and patterns don't just disappear. We have to work to create new habits and patterns. Now, we could exchange losing 10 pounds with just about anything in your life. I'm going to get the job, I'm going to get the partner, and then everything's going to feel better. But you're still going to have frustrations about your job. You're still going to have frustrations about your life. Nothing is going to be different up here. And so whatever's happening up here that made you feel like crap before the job, before the partner, those habits are still there. Our society, our culture, advertisers have all taught us and told us that if we do these things and we get these things or we have the resume, then life is going to be great and everything's going to be perfect and we're finally going to be happy. It just doesn't make sense. There's no way that job or that partner is going to instill feelings of happiness and contentment inside of you because you create them. And the question you have to ask for yourself is, what are my patterns of feelings? What are my thought creations that I've been living this whole life that I think this one thing is going to suddenly change that whole habit? What am I telling myself is going to be different once I receive that thing? What would actually need to change for me to feel differently permanently or on an ongoing basis? Those are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. Going out here and looking for things to help in here is a futile pursuit. So one of the first things that I do with my clients is I say, okay, why do you want to achieve that thing? What's going to be different? What's going to be the same? What would you be believing about yourself when you achieve that goal that's going to make you feel happy, fulfilled, successful, any of that? Those thoughts about yourself in that moment of achievement, that's what creates those emotions. And the crazy thing about it is, like, you don't need that achievement to believe any of those things. I'm not talking about deluding yourself. I'm not talking about just like swapping our beliefs for something pretty and amazing. But what I'm saying is that we can choose to believe whatever we want about ourselves. We don't have to have something checked off of a crazy list in order to believe I'm happy with my body. I'm comfortable in my skin. I am good enough. I am successful. I am worthy. All of those things. Because unless and until we start getting comfortable believing those things about ourselves, everything we check off of that list, all of those accomplishments, they're just going to leave you feeling more empty. And a lot of us just continue to pursue and pursue and pursue more things, more accomplishments, more achievements. Because when we get there, it's like, well, this doesn't feel the way I thought it would. So maybe I need to do something more and something more. And we spend our whole life kind of chasing, never actually doing this work and this work that truly makes lasting change. So how do we go about making that lasting change? That is something we're going to talk about in later videos. But today, my point is in sharing with you, we have to stop this external pursuit. We have to start getting really clever with our brains and asking, what am I trying to believe about myself by accomplishing that thing? Why do I think I need to do that thing in order to feel successful? What would I be believing in that moment? And why can't I believe that now? Is it possible that I'm already good enough and all these other things are just muddying the waters? That is your work to do, and that is something for you to explore. But I would certainly encourage you to look back on your life. Look back at all of the things that you've achieved, all the things that you've wanted, and ask yourself, what was I hoping to get out of that experience? What was I hoping to get from that achievement? Did it change anything permanently or long term? If you look at your past and you look at all of those achievements, what you'll find is that they never actually change how you're feeling in here because we're overlooking what is actually causing those feelings. All right, my friend, that is all for today. We're going to continue this exploration in later videos. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, autumn@theuncomfortabledream.com, or sign up for a free coaching consult at autumnnoble.com, AUTUMNNOBLE. Thanks so much.